Hello and welcome back. This evening we are going down to an old quarry to hopefully do some astro photography and hopefully get a Milky Way shot, maybe a panorama. It's been raining all day, but the skies are cleared now. The forecast is for it to continue clearing further. At the moment there's a bit of a mist on the horizon, which is quite disappointing, but that is astrophotography in the UK. You've got to take the opportunity when it arises, so let's go for it. This is Winspit Quarry I've come down to tonight. It's an old abandoned quarry. They mine all of the local building materials from here, but this one's been abandoned since probably 1950, something like that. One thing I want to do is get a shot of this old building, put a light in it and do a bit of light painting, maybe some star trails, something like that. Let's have a look around and see what else we can find. I'm so bad with my gear, my tripod is still full of seawater from last week's shoot. I should try harder really, shouldn't I? This is such a beautiful spot here right on the coast. Luckily there's a bit more shelter from the wind down here than I thought there was going to be. Bit of a collapse of the roof here, better stay away from that. Don't want a headache. So one composition I'm going to go for is looking from here, trying to get the path in the bottom of each corner of the shot. I'll tell you a shot now just so you can see what it's going to look like, and then we'll come back to it later tonight when it's dark. It has turned into a lovely clear evening. It's about 10 o'clock now. Probably won't be fully dark till about 11. The Milky Way core should be above the horizon at about 12 midnight, but the moon starts to rise through the Milky Way core at about 2 AM, so we've got a window for Milky Way from 12 till 2, and probably from about 11 till midnight I shall do some light painting, maybe some star trails, and mess around with stuff like that. So I guess the answer to is the Nikon Z50 any good for astrophotography is yes, it is. Obviously it's not the best camera in the world for it, but kind of proves the point that pretty much any mirrorless camera of the last 4 or 5 years is more than up to the job of astrophotography. Before I got the Nikon I used my Sony A6000 and that was fine. Got some spectacular images with that. What you soon learn is it's not the camera that holds you back with astrophotography, it's the techniques you use. So things you can do to minimise noise, obviously keep your ISO as low as possible, but you do need to bump it pretty high for astro really, for certain aspects of it. What makes or breaks astro really is techniques you use for taking the photos and then for editing the photos. Stacking multiple images really works to reduce noise and bring out a lot more vibrance and contrast, and just being very subtle with the images in editing can really help. It's easy to go too far. The other thing is you really need to invest in apps like Affinity Photo, which I use for stacking, and Photoshop, which I use for my main editing. Just Lightroom is all I use. I well, I don't use Photoshop at all really, to be honest. I'm not into manipulating my images that much. I'm just more into like stack them and edit highlights, shadows, contrast, colours. I don't go removing backgrounds and adding things in, taking things out. I think that's starting to be that's not photography. You're into creating images, then nothing wrong with that, but it's not what I want to do. I've got deer running past me here in the dark. That's pretty spooky. So yeah, you know, the camera's only half the story. The other half is finding, you know, not it's not half the story. There's probably 3 or 4 elements really. It's like planning the image, having something worthwhile to photograph, the camera, and the editing process you use. I hope that what I've done tonight is given you a little insight of what you can achieve with what is really quite modest equipment. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you again soon. Bye.